Hey everybody, welcome back to the Game Tower. Glad you can join me if you're coming or on right now for the live stream, or if I will see you later when this is uploaded. All right, but let's get to it. The game of the hour, of course, is Coimbra or Coimbra. It's kind of a strange name, but it's quite the game. As I mentioned, if you saw the comments or the post on Instagram, I played it on Tuesday night this week, and it was actually a really difficult game to describe after the fact because it's not dominated by any one mechanism because it contains quite a few, and I will give you a rundown of everything that is involved in the game as I open it up here. So we have a nice little ad, of course. Having a Nail is a good one as well. Kiesling gem. And here's the rule book. I'll just lay it out. Beautiful, beautiful, vibrant colors in this. The components are all good quality, not like knock it out of the park, amazing, but definitely not detrimental in any way, shape, or form. And it's nice, fairly short rule book for how heavy of a game is. It's not super heavy, but it is a uniquely heavier than midweight. So here's the punch boards. These are different tiles. They'll be out on the board map that allow you to, as you travel, which is one of the four main tech trees, you move up. I don't know, tech trees, they're almost like area majority, to be honest, because they do provide endgame scoring. These are the special actions that you're able to take through the action slots that are here on the left side of the board. So let's break the board out quickly. Sorry, I just ate, so still got a little tickle in the throat or so. But this is the main board. As I mentioned, you'll move your sort of traveler throughout these areas. Anytime you visit a location, you get the bonus of those tiles over there. I'm not going to start explaining the iconography. This isn't how to play. These are the various sort of tech trees or area majorities that you're going to compete for in the game. These bells at the top up here, they'll have little tiles in there. Actually, they're on that punch board as well. For point scoring at the end of the game for who's in the lead and second and so on. This green tech tree is only for points scoring, so you can activate it for that alone. This purple one allows you to move. That's a symbol for move. And then this is, I'm not sure the actual technical term, but like your military strength, which is a resource, and then gold, which is another resource. And at the bottom here, there will be cards that are randomly drawn each game for extra point scoring, because it is quite point salad-y, or point salad-esque. These are your individual player boards. So they're really nice summaries as well. Actually, oh, okay, it's all the same color on the backs, unfortunately. But these are just tracks for you to count up what of each of the two main resources that you have. But this is also a round track sort of reminder. And the first phase is when you roll the dice. Here we go. Here's all your dice, which this is a dice rolling worker placement, which is one of the many mechanisms in it. So you roll the first player rolls the dice, and then you're able to select one. You put it into your little castles. So you have basically three sort of castles that each worker can be in on a round. And then you put it on one of the locations that I mentioned are on this side of the board. So this main location has a reverse numerical order versus the other ones. Higher will get you first, lower gets you first in the top one. And this top one allows the players to choose from these four actions. Whereas the other locations are just going to be three different slots where you will be able to purchase these cards. So let's get into these cards, because this is the meat of the game, as it is a engine builder and a couple other things. It's really hard to describe this game, as I said before, because it's got such a variety of mechanisms scoring methods, and just lots of different ways to play and the way you can conceive a strategy in it. So cards with this symbol are instantaneous. If they have a C, they belong to the C in the turn order. So when you place dice, it'll affect it. So that shows you kind of, oh, it reduces the cost. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. I think that's one of the starting cards. Yeah, these are all your starting cards that you can get. But they're randomly set into pairs and then players choose them, which is a nice sort of open draft at the start of the game. But each one of these cards, every arrow that you see here, will provide you movement up those area majority tracks that I mentioned. And then they either have instant benefit or they apply to a certain part of the round order, which this is when you return your dice, you activate them, which is really cool. Every color die you choose as your worker ends up giving you an action based on those tracks. That's how you activate those tracks and move around the board or score extra points or gain resources. These with the exclamation point, they are endgame scoring. So you even have a nice little endgame scoring summary here, and then extra resources will give you endgame scoring points. The instantaneous ones with the lightning bolt just go onto the side of your board here, just as a pool to collect, because you will have to reference them. And so yeah, more endgame scoring. So whenever you have a purple dice, you get one extra movement with that one. And there's also another level or layer of scoring with these different certificates or seals. And you're looking for rainbow sets of them. That's listed here. So it shows, let me get this nice and close up. So you can see here, it's a rainbow of colors. And then the more different varieties you have, the more points you get at endgame. So you can have multiple sets if you get cards with a lot of them, but you're not going to get too many. Because the game only has 4 rounds, which is not terribly short because you have 3 actions and so many phases per round that the game is good, but it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's a really nice balance. And so just get through all these. Some of these also have sort of take that abilities. Let me get this up close so you can read. So here we go. Each player whose disc is behind yours on the Gray Council influence track must give you either 3 money or 3 points. I had that one applied to me. So there is some direct player interaction with these cards, but there's not a great deal of take that. So it's very much a Eurohead game. Not too much can be bothered upon one another players, but there is still some, so that people do have a sense of NFC or interaction, and rather than just a solitary experience. Each of the other player loses 3 points or a pink card. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, and then these are the scoring cards. So where on the bottom of the board, they will either be costing you military strength or gold, and it just depends on the random layout that you deal at the start of the game. This is just artwork, but this will give you 2 points per every location that you visited, which is actually pretty powerful. Or every level 1 location that you visited. Yeah, nothing's really overpowered. Like 9 is a pretty medium. If you can get more than 9 out of one of these scores, it's pretty awesome. This is 1 for every location you visit. That was in the game we played. Oh, interesting. This is 1 for everyone you don't visit. So if you stay at home, that's a strategy. Oh, your seals or certificates get more. The more ones you complete, you get 2 points per each. You can only complete 1 for free every turn, or every round out of the 4 rounds, but there is an action out of these bonus actions you can take that'll allow you to score another one, and as well, both, it'll give you the free extra score if you can afford it in the C phase, but then in the F phase is when you normally place your discs on these point scoring cards. Each character card. Yeah, so there's a lot of variety. Like you only play with 6 of these. You typically only get 3, 4, maybe 5 if you're really pushing it. Pretty standard discs. These you mark the locations on the map, all the player colors. Some standard cubes for, this is points or, no, this is for the tracks, but there's only 2. Oh no, you use discs for the influence traps. These are nice meeples, but unfortunately, these line meeples, let's show you them. They're a great cut. Unfortunately, they're just used for player turnover, which, however, has a really cool mechanism to it. So you can see it's line, nice 3D, really good etching, and none of the cuts are so thin that they're gonna break on you. There's the red one. And blue and black. But the turn order is quite interesting because you're gonna have your line meeples on these locations for whatever turn you are at, right? Whether you're first or you're last, and then whatever order you fall in that round, you get crowns, and then crowns dictate who's going to be first for the next round. So if you have the most crowns, you're first. Which, if you're last, you automatically get some, but it doesn't mean you will get enough to become first, because you can try and buy them. As I mentioned, all these cards get laid out in a display, and then they'll get these tokens on top of them. And these tokens will be applied to the very first card of that color that's in the display. And if you buy that card, you also get these crowns for the round. And some things will be affected by crowns. Others, mainly it's just per round. And there is some end game scoring. Your crowns are worth a point per every 2 at the end of the game. And then these are your Traveler meeples that go around the board for you. And that is Coimbra, which is a very, very interesting game. Very, very beautiful, but rather unique in that it straddles so many different mechanisms and doesn't dive into any one too much, but keeps a well-balanced approach. Quite enjoyable. I did find it give me analysis paralysis, just because at the start of the round is when you make these selections for the action typically, because people raced their lowest number dies there that they're able to draft out of the pool. So yeah, give it a shot. This one is quite enjoyable. I bought it right after I played it. I think that says enough about it. All right. Up next, we're going to do Scythe, Rise of Fenris. Come on back and take a look. Peace.